the average household income is like $26,000 a year. That's two parents combined.
Everybody worked in the mills, and times have changed. The mills are all gone.
A lot of men and women from this area decide to join the military because of where the economy is right now and has been for the past 15 years.
It's About the Warrior was a foundation that was started by a guy named Steve Monteleone. It was just a very grassroots thing with a couple of us guys trying to get together to help veterans.
We assist post 9/11 veterans in the tri-state area, Western PA, Eastern Ohio, and Northern West Virginia. And really our main goal is to empower these veterans and lead them to a successful life.
I got involved with It's About the Warrior about 4 or 5 years ago when they got started.
I met John Malecki through Rich Johns.
In talking with John, I said, man, I need to get these two together.
How can I help, or how can I do anything? And he's like, well, I mean, what do you think about doing some classes and stuff to teach some skills, maybe do anything that could subtly help anyone dealing with the trauma of service.
I first met Brandon Rumbaugh probably 4 or 5 years ago. Became really good friends and said, hey, look, you have a story to tell.
November 29th, 2010, I was on a patrol. I just returned back to base. We heard an explosion. Threw my gear on and grabbed a stretcher and ran down to the blast site. Got about 15 feet away from him, stepped on a secondary IED, then ended up taking my left leg below the knee, right leg at the hip. I was 23 years old, had lost a significant portion of my body. That's when I, met Steve about a year later, and we started to talk about the things that I had been through. He told me about It's About the Warrior Foundation and what they were trying to accomplish, and basically told me that if I ever needed anything, they would be there for me. One of the issues that we face a lot with veterans returning home is the fact that they don't want to ask for help, or not necessarily that they don't want to, they don't know how to, or they don't understand what that actually means. The hardest thing is to get somebody to come in here and try to teach them some of the skills that you have. And once you do that, you start to build a relationship, and then they're going to start to open up even more. And then you can just build off of that. And really, if you can get through that first stage in the process, you're going to be able to change somebody's life. And that's really, what the goal is with this.
A lot of the guys, they have all this combat carnage in their mind, and they're trying to acclimate themselves back to civilian life. Well, what a better way to keep them occupied by doing some kind of trade.
I'm hoping that by showing Brandon, any little bit of how to weld or create something is going to just light a spark under him. I think he's made it his life goal and mission to help others.
Getting over that fear and just, saying, you know what, I'm just going to try this today. Regardless of how it goes, I can at least say that I've done it and then build off of that every single day. So just think about if I came back tomorrow and we did the same thing tomorrow, and then we did it for 5 days straight, I'd probably own his company in a week and a half. The way that I look at it, and it took me a while to realize this, but when somebody offers, hey, like John, let me bring you in the shop and teach you how to weld. When you think about the bigger picture, he's actually trying to get me into the shop to build that relationship and to build something more than that. And it's going to be more than just about learning how to weld. It's going to be about learning to trust somebody again. If you find the courage to at least try, eventually you're going to try it again, and then you're going to try it again, and then you're going to not give up until you actually succeed and get to your goal. And that's really the whole focus behind it.